after working at Guitar Center, when did you transition into getting over to Yamaha? How did that actually
You know,
happen?
it was really I loved, like I said, I'm super proud of working at GC for so long and loved it so much and loved the people. It was just at that time I was traveling a little bit. Um, I was traveling a lot and it kind of is the opposite of what people usually want. I was like, I kind of want a desk, I kind of
Oh,
want a
right.
cubicle, you know, that's kind of what I'm going for. Can I find a cubicle? And and I wanted to just get involved in other things,
Yeah.
just it was time. It was time just to kind of switch things up, but stay in the industry,
Yeah.
but just into a different world, see the other side of things.
Man. So did you go right into like product specialist like right away when you went to Yamaha or no?
I actually I started working with Guitar Center. I started working with Guitar Center. We had a national account manager at the time, and I was his assistant.
All right.
So, and there's a train going by, and everybody enjoy the train. So, yeah, that's what I did. I just actually worked with Guitar Center.
Oh,
So, so that was kind of weird at first,
all right.
but then it quickly, it got to be cool, and it was fine.
That's
It was
awesome.
always fine, but it was just, kind of weird for me to see the same people, like, oh, but I'm on a different side of things. So I did that for a while and then moved into along that time they were looking for somebody to do warranty
Oh,
work,
okay. Okay.
to handle warranty replacements, and the amazing, his name is Dave Psyche, and he was actually back in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he had been there forever, and he was the guy that had drawers and drawers of everything, like every little wing nut and every little hook and post, and he knew everything, and artists love him and consumers loved him, and he was just amazing.
Mm,
So he was going to be leaving, and he's like, well, you should, being a drummer, you should check this out. So I went in and started working with him, and started kind of learning more like nuts and bolts
yeah.
things,
All right.
and which was really cool. And that's how I sort of had started a relationship with some of our artists that way, because I would get, hey, can you send whatever, this chain, pedal chain, and it needs to be in Miami tomorrow.
Right.
A lot
Oh,
of that would come up, and I dug it. I really did. Like, I dug that challenge, and I still do.
all right.
I like that challenge where it's like, okay, how can I pull this off? This has to get there, and how could I do it?
Right.
Because there's no room for error.
Right.
So I dug those little things when they popped up. So anyway, that was for a little bit, and then moved into being a product specialist for drums in our marketing team, with our marketing team with Dave Jewell and Jim Haler. You know
Oh,
Jim Haler,
yes.
just
Yeah.
retired.
Yeah.
He's out in Missouri now, and then artist relations came in 2012.
Wow. Okay, so that's your role now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That
Wow.
started in 2012.
2012. So how you digging it now? How you like being like you're the guy now for the US?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks on the team. I'm just drums. I mean, they just that's stay in my lane, man. Drums is
Right.
is it. But it's great. I mean, there's always something going on, and I still get the satisfaction of being around drummers and drumming and people who are excited. Obviously our artists, and we have artists from every walk of life, and every, educators, and
Mm,
obviously studio musicians and pop and rock and metal, and so it's cool because I get to like have a little education myself in jazz, or in studio, learn about that sort of stuff. So that's pretty exciting.
right. Wow. So like how many like roughly this is I know that's a huge number, but Like how many people are you endorsed? Like,
About 300 in the US because I just do the United States. So, in fact, we have a new artist website that's going to be launching pretty soon.
really?
I had to kind of like go through all of it. I think with electronics and acoustic drums, I think it's around a little bit over 300.
Man. 300. That's
Yeah,
oh man.
yeah. And there, I mean, in our department, in our artist relations department, I mean, there's percussion artists and keyboards artists and guitar artists and winds and strings and so there's department categories that have I think even more than that, more than me, and um they're being taken care of by different people on our team. And
Man, so like after, like dealing with all these endorsed drummers, is there like a priority that you need to take up care of first, or like compared to, anybody that's on your roster right now?
oh, it's never, I mean, we take care of everybody the same.
Okay.
Sometimes things do pop up
Yeah.
that are like this, like before with in being in warranty, this needs to happen today.
Yeah.
This needs to happen right now. There's no room for error. And that doesn't pop up luckily as much, but when it does, it's, we take care of it and we make sure that the show goes on. The old the saying that we have is, we would never want the show not to go on because of something we didn't do.
Right.
And I mean, you just can't live with that. So we're always jumping on things when they need to get taken care of immediately.
Right. So do you have any advice like how, like people, well, any drummers out there that wants to get over to Yamaha, do you have any advice for them to try to get, to try to get to Yamaha?
Well, I mean, it could not necessarily be you know a, a specific drum brand like mine, but I mean, like anybody that's looking for endorsements through anything, through sticks, heads,
Mm,
cymbals, drums, things like that, just
yeah.
always it's always better, or it's better for us on our end if somebody comes and they're like, I already play, this, I play these cymbals. I use these sticks all the time. I use these heads all the time and I know them and I love them and they help me make music.
Mm,
That's the best approach,
yeah.
know the gear that you're talking about, or that, and really make sure that whatever, company you want to endorse, because is the right company for you,
Yeah.
is the right fit. It helps you make the music that you want to make, because art companies are never they're looking for long term. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're going to be part of that family for a long, long time, hopefully.
Yeah.
So you got to feel comfortable. You got to feel like, okay, this. I'm where I'm at. You
Yeah.
know. So that's my best advice. Just really find the company that fits and know the gear.
Yeah.
Know you know what you're talking about when you reach out.
Mm. Man, thank you for explaining that. Because I mean, you are one of our first, guys from a major company like yours, to be on my show, and thank you for explaining that.
Oh,
I hope people are listening, like to that what you're saying, because that is definitely true. Because even though I'm, in a band and people come up to me and ask me like, how do you get endorsed and how do you get this,
yeah,
how you do that, and that's like, man, like, but I love the key thing that you were saying, know the gear. I
yeah.
like that, like you have to know the gear, especially what you're, like what you're playing or that you're trying to represent, or
Hmm.
that's the whole big thing, for it, so you can't just like, oh, I think I want to go over to here, like you can't just do that. Not like that. If you're not
Yeah,
a fan of have the passion for
right.
the things
Because
we're trying
as
to
an
do.
endorser, you're an ambassador for that company.
Yeah,
You're out performing. Um, so when somebody asked you, like, a youngster or an oldster or whatever,
yeah,
comes up to you after the show and they're like, man, that, ride, your ride is amazing. Like, why? I want to get one of those. Like, where can I get it? What is it? And
yeah,
they're like, oh, it's, yeah, I forget what it is, what model is it or whatever, knowing the gear that you play and being passionate about it because you're going to go out and talk to the public about it.
yeah,
And that's amazing. We it's always important to note that, like, I'm just speaking on our roster with our drummers, but
yeah,
like we have, like other companies do, some of the biggest drummers in the world, and the most iconic drummers in the world and household names and
yes.
people, that aren't even drummers know them.
You're right.
But we never want to forget, or I never want to forget, that that's what they do for a job.
Yeah,
That's their job.
yeah,
It's like that's how they pay the bills, man. It's like,
right.
yes, iconic Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, on TV, videos online, everything, like super famous, can't walk down the street. But if you break it down very basically, that's what they do for a job. So my job is to help them,
Yeah,
to make sure that they can go out and do that session or do and make sure that they have the right tools they need so they can do their job,
yeah,
you know? Um, I mean, it sound corny, but yeah, it's we gotta do what we can to make sure they're out and they're keeping everybody happy with beautiful music.
dude, that's sick, man. Hey, did you know that we have a website, Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr.? We got all kinds of stuff on there, man. Check it out. Got some cool swag on there, like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug. Check out the gear. Hope you like it and support Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr. Thanks.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecordStudio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their e-record sessions on social media. Visit ERS on eRecordStudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.